Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CME Palooza. We have a lot going on here, so I am going to jump right into it with the slides. Here we go. This is our Wait, Do Tell Me session, sponsored by Academic CME. Our moderators, co-hosts, whatever you want to call them today, are Caitlin Keenan from the American Society of Addiction Medicine and Michelle Adams from the American Society of Anesthesiologists. But before we get things going, of course, a big thank you to all of our sponsors today for CME Palooza. Our gold sponsors, Haymarket Medical Education, Med Learning Group, and Projects in Knowledge. Our silver sponsors, Academic CME, Clinical Education Alliance, DKB Med, and Daiichi Sankyo. Helio CME, Integrity CE, Medscape, Platform Q, Health Education, and Talon Health. And our bronze sponsors, Antherson CME, XDev, Bonum Continuing Education, STEMiology, Excalibur Medical Education, GibLib, Global Education Group, Infograph Ed, Integritas Communication, Iridium Continuing Education, Leading Learning, MedIQ, and our last slide, Partners for Advancing Clinical Education, Paradigm, who I somehow forgot last time. Apologies. So a special shout out to Paradigm. PriMed, PeerView Institute for Medical Education, Vindico Medical Education, and Right Medicine. As always, there are two different ways you can ask questions during CME Palooza. You can use our Horizon CME text line. Big thank you to Horizon CME for sponsoring 267-6660-CME. And you can use the YouTube chat. If you click on the watch on YouTube on the lower left corner of your screen, you can use YouTube chat. I'll be monitoring both of those. We are probably, just because of how the session's running, we will probably just save, if there are any questions, save them for the very end. So don't get upset if I don't get to your question immediately. Poll Everywhere, that we will be using a little Poll Everywhere as part of our audience response system. So go ahead and get that ready. You can either use the Poll Everywhere app, CME Palooza 005, or you can just plug in that URL that you see on your screen. There's also a link to it on the live page, I believe, that you can click on. And then the last thing from me, any opinions, discussions, and or conclusions expressed are those of our panelists and do not represent an endorsement by or position of their employer, its parent company, or affiliates. And with that, I am going to turn things over to Michelle and Caitlin.
From the middle of everywhere and nowhere, on CME Palooza's 10-year anniversary, this is Wait, Do Tell Me, the CME Quiz Show. I'm your co-host, Michelle Adams, and live from the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois, here's your co-host, Caitlin Keenan.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everybody, and welcome. We have a great show lined up for you today. We're diving into the riveting world of continuing medical education, CME. Our panelists will compete to see who will run the gauntlet of standards, criteria, and policies and come out without a progress report. Later, we'll be playing some games with our audience, but now we have our first call-in guest. Hi, you're on Wait, Do Tell Me. Who do we have joining us?
Hi, this is Anna Lissis from Arizona. I'm a CME manager.
Welcome to our show, Anna. How's it going in Arizona with CME?
Well, in Arizona, even the CME feels like it's under the sun's relentless scrutiny. It's continuing melting education.
I can relate to that. I was there once and experienced all 4 seasons in a single day, and it got hot. We're happy to have you here with us to play Stump the Listener. First, let's introduce you to our panelists. Our first panelist is Roxanne Relevance. Roxanne, tell us, what's your favorite CME acronym?
It's tough to choose. I have 2. First one is PINS loud, praying it never sees the light of day. But really, it's probably my favorite CME synonym is PIP, praying it's pulled. It's the mantra of reaccreditation for those files you're hoping the ACCME does pull for review.
Thank you, Roxanne. We all have those files we hope they pull, and those files we'd rather have in the closet. Let's move on to our second panelist, Mitt. Mitt, have you ever accidentally diagnosed yourself with a rare tropical disease after reviewing slides for a presentation?
Well, I once Googled some symptoms after reviewing some slides and convinced myself I had spontaneous combustion syndrome, but it turned out I was just sitting a little bit too close to the space heater in my very cold office.
The hazards of working from home. And last, but certainly not least, our third panelist for today, Mark Mission. Mark, if you were a prescription drug, what would your side effects be?
Caitlin, if I were a prescription drug, my side effects would include uncontrollable laughter, spontaneous dance parties, and an irresistible urge to quote Shakespeare during reaccreditation surveys.
Let us know when that hits market, and we will definitely include it in a non-accredited CME activity. So, Anna, now that we have met our panelists, we're going to play Stump the Listener. Each of our panelists will read you a CME story from our listeners. 2 are true and 1 is false. You need to guess which one is false to win the game. Are you ready?
Yes, I can't wait to hear these.
All right, we'll start with Roxanne. Roxanne, take it away.
A nonprofit medical society decided to do an ultrasound workshop at a large meeting. When the group realized that a staff member lived relatively close to the meeting location, they asked him to go to the store and buy the items provided on a list that they had sent over. The staff purchased a huge, copious amount of Metamucil and gelatin. Later that week, several docs from the workshop also showed up with their own version of Iron Chef, the Phantom molds. On their first try, the molds didn't quite make it, but the group was successful in making a large amount of Phantom molds at dawn and successfully delivered the concoction to the meeting. As we say in CME, sometimes education is just a little too irregular for comfort.
Okay, Roxanne, share the story of the Phantom molds used in an activity. Next up, we have Mitt.
So back in the day when the ACCME surveys were done via paper and you would send these huge notebooks back to them with files, a group of our staff were working together to come over the weekend. One brought their dog, beautiful dog. They called it their CME mascot, and the dog was running around the office. We were just having a wonderful time with this cute little dog, greeting everybody. The dog was wagging its tail, barking all the time. Well, one of the staff members accidentally gave the little guy a piece of their breakfast bar, which created an immediate, shall we say, exploding situation all over the entire box of activity files that we had pulled for the survey. So let's just say that was a crappy experience.
All right, Mitt shared the story of the CME mascot, the loose dog who ate a little too much breakfast. Next up, we have Mark Mission sharing his story. Take it away, Mark.
Well, when a group of meeting staff were planning a 2-day CME conference, they asked the CME manager if they should collect the disclosures from the moderators, the panelists, the poster presenters, and the staff. Well, the manager advised them to get the disclosures from everybody because it is always better to err on the side of too much information than too little information. Well, 2 weeks before the conference, the staff called the CME manager to report that they are having difficulty securing the disclosures from one group involved in the meeting, the exhibitors. The manager asked, whoa, why are you getting disclosures from the people who are paying for the marketing opportunity? The overzealous staff replied, well, You said get the disclosures from everybody.
Thanks, Mark. So we've got disclosures from everybody. We've got our CME mascot, and we have our story of making phantom molds for an activity. So, Anna, you've heard the stories. Which do you think is false?
That's a tough one. I can relate to every single one of those stories based on personal experience. I mean, how many times have we been asked to do a little DIY when putting together workshops? Everybody has a puppy story that involves total chaos and destruction. And how many of us can relate to that last story? Don't get me started, or this will turn into a therapy circle. I'm going to go with the phantom molds.
All right. That was a good try. However, believe it or not, that story was true. It was Mitt's story of the puppy that was false. Hang on for a bit, though, because you have another chance to win later in the show when we do our Listener Limerick Challenge. And stay tuned, because we're going to do a Stump the Audience at the very end for the audience to guess which one is false. So stay tuned for more wacky stories from CME Land. All right, right now we're going to ask our audience to participate in what we like to call It's My Job. We will be posting a statement followed by 3 choices, and you need to select the correct response. Poll Everywhere is up, so hopefully you've either downloaded the app or you've logged into, you can do it via the browser. So let's ask our first question. According to ACCME's standards, accredited providers must disclose which of the following to learners prior to the beginning of an accredited education activity? A, only relevant financial relationships and commercial support. B, all relevant financial relationships, absence of relevant financial relationships, commercial support, and mitigation strategies used for those relevant financial relationships. Or C, all relevant financial relationships, commercial support, and the absence of any relevant financial relationships for faculty, planners, and anyone involved in the creation of the educational content for the activity.
Hey, Caitlin, it is Derek.
We'll give everyone a few seconds to answer the question. It looks like everyone is locking in their answers.
Sorry, Derek, what was that?
No, that's okay. For some reason, the Poll Everywhere questions are not showing up.
All right, congratulations to those
so you might have to fake
all
it.
relevant relationships with an eligible
Helen,
company
Michelle.
24 months. The absence of financial relationships and commercial support is the correct answer. Remember, none of the disclosures can be visible at the same time as logos.
Do we want to try, well, now that we know the answer, do we want to try it again in the Poll Everywhere, or should we move on to the next question?
I apologize. This must have been an error for me when I programmed them in. I cannot get, they are not showing up on the app. So my apologies. We're going to have to fake it through the Poll Everywhere questions.
Wah, wah. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Let's go on to the next question. And you can either type it in the chat or just think to yourself and see what you got right. There are no points for this section, so don't worry about getting anything correct or wrong. Moving on to our next question. To be accredited, what is the lowest outcome level continuing education must be designed to change? Is it performance, knowledge, or competence? All right, now that you've had a chance to think about it, Michelle, why don't you take it away with our answer? Michelle, do you have the answer for us?
If you answered C, competence, you are right. While knowledge can be used to identify gaps or needs, continuing medical education must be designed to measure competence, performance, and/or patient outcomes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our third question. When is a company that is developing its first prescription drug or biologic considered to be an ineligible company? We have A, once they have submitted an investigational new drug application. We have B, once they have completed testing for toxicity on several species of animals. Or C, once they have developed a new compound and seek to have approval from FDA for sale. We'll give everyone a few seconds to think of the answers, talk to their bestie, or consult Google. All right, it is A. Once they have submitted an investigational new drug application, as described in the standards section on eligibility, a biomedical startup is considered an ineligible company if it has begun a governmental regulatory approval process. The prescription drugs and biologics, a startup is eligible until the company submits an investigational new drug application or an IND application. Thank you all for playing, looking it up on Google, consulting a CME or CE bestie. So stand up, shake up hands, and get ready to play along in our next segments. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Wait, Do Tell Me, the CME quiz show. I am your host, your co-host, Caitlin, live from the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois. We are moving on now to our Listener Limerick Challenge. We'd like to welcome Anna Lissus back to the stage. Hi, Anna. Welcome to our Limerick. Welcome to our Limerick Challenge, the game where you must listen for the rhyme. We'll read 5 limericks related to the standards, criteria, and policies. And if you can fill in the last word or a phrase correctly on 3 of the limericks, you will be a winner. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, we're going to kick it over to Michelle to read our limericks.
I hope you don't find out too late. The standard could seal your team's fate. As planners, they're banished. Some wish this rule vanished. Owners, employees, you can't.
Is it mitigate?
You are correct. Standard 3.2 states, exclude owners or employees of ineligible companies. Review the information about financial relationships to identify individuals who are owners or employees of ineligible companies. These individuals must be excluded from controlling content or participating as the planners or faculty in accredited education. I will add there are 3 exceptions to this rule, and best practice would be for providers to keep documentation if they use them. Let's move on to our next limerick.
All right.
There's
Are you ready? Go ahead.
There's a rule. Sorry, little technical difficulty there. There's a rule to which you must adhere. If not followed, may bring you to tears. Keep records safe and sound. This time frame they are bound. Ensuring compliance, it's 6.
Oh, this one I know. It's years, 6 years.
Yes, excellent job. The CME activity and attendance records retention policy states an accredited provider must have mechanisms in place to record and, when authorized by the participating physician, verify participation for 6 years from the date of the accredited activity. Here's the next one. Michelle, take it away.
They proclaimed what standard 2 meant. You must follow 100%. No sharing of names. Don't play any games. Learners must give explicit.
What rhymes with meant? Consent. Is it consent?
Correct. Standard 2.3 states the accredited provider must not share the names or contact information of learners with an ineligible company or its agent without explicit consent of the individual learner. Okay, that is 3 out of 3. Let's keep going. Here's the fourth limerick. Solid design gives your team an edge. To the criterion you will pledge. Competence is fine. Performance will shine. You must measure more than just.
This is a tough one. Can you read it again, please?
Sure. Solid design gives your team an edge. To this criterion you will pledge. Competence is fine. Performance will shine. You must measure more than just.
I got it. Knowledge.
Yes, knowledge can be used to identify a gap or need. As ACCME notes, in fulfillment of its mission and as a next step in the planning process, the accredited provider designs its education to change learners' strategies or skill, which is competence, and or what learners actually do in practice, performance, and the impact on the patient or on the care delivered, patient outcomes. Okay, you're on a roll. Here's the last one. In ACCME Standards 5 decree, learners study content pure as can be. No click-through distractions or online attractions as they learn day or night, marketing.
Free?
You are correct again. In Standard 5.2b, it says that for print, online, or digital continuing education activities, learners must not be presented with marketing while engaged in the accredited education. Learners must be able to engage with the accredited education without having to click through, watch, listen to, or be presented with product promotion or product-specific advertisement. And with that, I'm happy to say that you have won the Listener Limerick Challenge. Congratulations. Let's get a round of applause for Anna.
Nicely done. All right. Right now, we are going to ask our audience to participate in a Stump the Audience, just like Anna's Stump the Listener. Like Two Truths and a Lie, our panelists will each read a story, and you will vote which person's story is false. You need to guess which one is false to win the game. Derek, are we good to go with the poll everywhere, or are we asking people to think about it, Google, or ask their CME best?
I'm going to ask everyone to respond in their head and try and send it to us. No, the ARS is still down, so we will soldier on as best we can.
Should we ask them to put it in the chat and commit?
They can, sure, yes. If you're on the YouTube chat, you can put it in there. We won't be able to add up all the responses, but we can at least see them, or I can see them.
We won't hold you accountable to committing either. There are no consequences. All right, Roxanne, take it away.
We're all in a safe space. My story is about an accredited provider who is hiring a CME coordinator. When asked what her primary responsibilities would be, she was told, really, all you have to do is wear nice shoes and be good to the doctors. She was hired. 2 weeks later, she went back to the people who hired and finding notes and reminders all over my office that the self-study's due in 2 months. What's a self-study? Nobody could answer.
How would you react to that? All right, Roxanne, thank you for your story, our snappy dresser and the self-study, or lack thereof. Mitt, what do you have for us today?
Well, about 5 years ago, I was working with a CME staffer to prepare a professional development plan. I suggested she focus on adult learning theory and its application to teen professional development. She looked at me with a blank stare and said, "There's absolutely nothing I do that has anything to do with adult learning theory." Silence.
Thank you. Mitch shared the story of the CME staff who doesn't believe in adult learning theory. Shocking. Next up, we have Mark Mission sharing his story. Go ahead, Mark.
25 years ago, I was on a survey team for reaccreditation of a Catholic hospital. At that time, we didn't ask for performance and practice structured abstracts for the selected activities. Rather, we looked at the hard copies of the activity files that was part of the on-site survey. When we asked the staff person to pull the activity files, she said, I don't have any activity files for the previous 4 years because my only helpers are the nuns who decided that they didn't have any space for all of that paper. The nuns threw everything away.
Holy moly.
Crazy stuff happens in a CME CE office, doesn't it? All right, folks, you've heard the stories. Which one of our panelists provided the false one? Is it the snappy dresser without a self-study from Roxanne, the doubter of CME of adult learning theory from Mitt, or the space-conscious nuns shared by Mark? We'll give you a few to figure it out and submit your comments in the chat. I see. Ugh, they are all plausible. Keep them coming. All right, we'll give 2 more seconds and then we'll reveal the answer. All right, thank you for participating. Now let's, believe it or not, these are all true. So we had the snappy dresser who didn't know what a self-study was because neither did anyone else in their office. We had the 5 years of experience who was convinced she didn't need to have anything about adult learning theory, and the overzealous nuns who were just trying to be tidy. All of them were true.
Hey, Caitlin, I can
Yeah.
actually add to this slightly. Scott, being the great co-producer that he is, made the question live on Poll, the web version of Poll Everywhere, so people did respond to it. We just can't see their answers. Not very helpful for us, but he sent me a screenshot, and 50% of the audience chose C. So good job with the nun question. You fooled the most people. 14% chose Roxanne, and 36% chose Mitt.
Nice.
How many of you have just sat with the sounds of silence?
Excuse me. All right. Well, thank you, everyone who participated. In
Here
our...
it comes, Caitlin. Here it comes, man.
Here we go. I love it when we crack ourselves up. It's pretty great. It means that CME CE is not boring, right? All right. Thank you, everyone, for participating in both the chat and our impromptu poll that we got working. So we're going to move on to our lightning round. I'll read a series of questions to our panelists. Each person will have 60 seconds to answer as many CME CE questions as possible. And we'll start with Roxanne Relevance. Are you ready?
As I ever will be.
All righty. Michelle, let me know when you're starting the timer.
I'll start when you start the first question.
First question, here we go. What is the lead federal agency responsible for tracking and improving the quality, safety, efficiency, and effectiveness of healthcare for Americans?
NCQA?
AHRQ, Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. Next one up. What does the AMA stand for?
American Medical Association.
Absolutely. What is ACCME Standard 3?
Identification and mitigation of conflicts of interest.
Exactly. What type of education delivers information and services when it is needed?
Point of care.
Excellent. What is the term for the revised standards of commercial support?
The standards of integrity and independence for accredited continuing education.
I'm always impressed when people can get that right. What is ACC? Oh, nicely done. Got all but one. Next up, we have mitigate. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
All right, let's go. What is ACCME Standard 5?
Oh, this isn't fair.
Would you like a pass?
I would like a pass. I don't.
All right, we're going to
Need
pass.
to pull these up, don't I?
Who created identified andragogy?
This isn't fair.
All right, passing and moving right on. Here's an easy one for you. What is the term for the revised company that was once categorized as a commercial interest?
Oh, this is not fair.
What? An ineligible company?
Of course.
All right, we're 0 for 0 here, folks. All right, we're gonna
You
get
said
an
I
easy
couldn't. You
one.
said I couldn't win.
True or false? All accrediting bodies require disclosure forms to be signed.
All
You got to
accrediting
get one
bodies
right.
Okay, true. False.
False. All right, we're going for some easy ones now. What should clearly state in measurable terms the behavior or attitude the learner is expected to adopt on completion of the activity?
Oh, that's easy. The evaluation.
That was perfect timing. It's a learning objective. Preferably based on Bloom's taxonomy. But we won't hold you to the bonus because...
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
All right. Moving on. We'll expose everybody's real names at the end and where they work. So you might be in trouble in a minute. All right, Mark, let's see if you can bring it home. I've got some mix of easy and hard. All right, let's go. Name 3 steps in Bloom's taxonomy. Any 3, don't have to be in order.
Evaluate, identify, measure. Lord. Oh God,
Pass.
seriously, pass. I need to pull up my triangle.
Knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis,
Seriously, I
and
need to pull up my
evaluation.
triangle.
All right, what does ACGME stand for?
The Accreditation Council for Continuing Medical Education.
Absolutely. When collecting financial disclosures, accredited providers must collect relationships going back how many months?
24.
Absolutely. How many levels does Moore's framework have?
It has 6, but then it has the 3B, 3A, 3B, and then 4A and 4B. So if you add all that up, technically 8.
We're at 7.
Yeah.
7. All right. Well, I
And you
think
laughed at me for throwing.
Roxanne won that one.
I think this is just too good. So type in the chat if you'd like to continue the lightning round. This is just too fun.
Let's go again. Let's try it again.
All right.
And
Give everybody another chance.
Nick's gotta make up some time there for himself.
You have plenty of time, so you can continue on with another round as long as I don't have to do it.
No, you do not have to.
we might bring in Derek here.
No, we'll get 0.
All right, mitigate. Let's see if you can redeem yourself here. Ready?
Oh no.
We'll give you some easier ones. You can get a couple right. Ready? All right. Let's see. Let me give you an easy one. Aha, here's one. What does ANCC stand for?
American Nurse Credentialing Center.
You are correct. What profession does ACPE accredit education for?
That would be the pharmacists.
Excellent. All right. What does ACCME Standard 2 do?
Why am I drawing a blank? This ought to be very easy. Pass.
All right. Let's see. Accredited providers are required to collect a spouse's financial relationships. True or false?
That is false.
All righty. Nice. We're redeeming yourself. This is good news.
Except for that Standard 2 thing.
What act from 1996 created national standards to protect individuals' personal health information?
HIPAA.
Yes, sir. All right, nice redemption. So from 0
Jeez.
to only missing 1.
Passing on one, not missing on one. That's a very
Passing on 1. I include that in the missing category. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. Had you had time to Google it, I'm sure you would have come up with the right answer. All right, Mark, let's go back to you. And then we've got Roxanne. All righty. Name 2 of the 4 outcomes levels of the Kirkpatrick Bar Framework.
Knowledge and competence.
Reaction, learning, behavior, and results. But that's all right. We'll keep going here. What is pedagogy?
Instruction, the knowledge framework for instructional design for typically for children.
Correct. Education planned by the team for the team is known as?
It's the Joint Accreditation Mission.
You're correct. What does ADDIE stand for?
Instructional design model. Passing on that one. I don't remember.
What is MOL?
MOL.
MOL. All right, Roxanne, let's start with MOL for you.
MOL, maintenance of licensure.
Correct. How about what does ADDIE stand for?
Couldn't tell you if you paid me.
There's $20 in it for you. What does PDSA cycle stand for?
Plan, do, study, act.
You're correct. Name 2 of Prochaska's stages of change?
Deer in headlights.
That's 3.
Pass.
Contemplation, action, maintenance, and relapse. All right. What is name at least 3 principles of andragogy, which I'm saying wrong because I've never known how to say it.
Andragogy is how I've heard it used, but
That's
I'm
correct.
not an authority either. Self-directed, independent,
Yep,
and relevant or applicable to my life.
Yes. Self-directed includes experiences, independent, relates to real life, problem-centered. Yes. Nicely done. All right, we've got a little bit more time, so we can keep going if the audience would like that. We can keep going on our lightning round, or we can pass it over to the audience for questions.
I think that we can probably wrap it up and give everyone a little bit of a bio break, lunch break, breakfast break, depending where you are before the next session.
Okay.
Sounds
Close
good.
it up, and then I'll take it away when you're done.
All right. Well, our winner today was Anna from our show, and she will receive a bottle of Parker Jack's Gourmet Sweeter Heater Ketchup, courtesy of Parker's dad, Andrew Quim. Let's give a round of applause for Anna.
Shameless plug for Parker Jack's ketchup.
Thank you all for joining us today for Wait, Wait, Do Tell Me. We hope you were able to laugh while learning. Let's thank our panelists and guests using their real names. We have a big shout out to Susan Yarborough, Andrew Krim, Alexander Miceli, and Nikki Berry. And thank you to our fellow CME colleagues for sharing all of those hilarious stories on the Alliance Community Board for our session. We couldn't have done this without you. Remember that this is all in good fun, and while actual CME standards and criteria are a bit more serious, laughter is the best medicine, right? We'll see you next time for Wait, Wait, Do Tell Me, where the content is quirky, the panelists are witty, our audio needs help, obviously, and the CME situations we have all endured are sometimes hilarious. Signing off now, join us next time when we delve into the mysteries of stock options, the world of wearables, and compounding proprietary compounds. We'll see you all soon.
Signing off for Wait, Wait, Do Tell Me. Enjoy the rest of CME Palooza.
Thank you, everyone. Apologies again. Oh, sorry. You want to do your music?
That's
Go ahead.
okay. I think they're probably
I
off.
forgot we
Yeah.
had the ending music. Sorry for the ARS issue. It seemed to work out okay, regardless. Thanks to everyone, but a huge thanks to Michelle and Caitlin. This session took a lot of work by them. I greatly appreciate it. Very clever, very creative. Audience seemed to like it, despite not being able to actually do the IRS. You can blame that on me. A big thank you to all of you. In closing, if you have a moment to do our survey, it is on the live page of our website. There should be a link there. Just a couple questions. It helps us plan for our next sessions. So take that. For the next session, you can just click on the link on the page, and that one will get started. You have a little bit of a break here since we're finishing a couple minutes early, and it'll get started right at noon Eastern time. It is our lunch session sponsored by Projects and Knowledge, powered by Kaplan, navigating AI integration in continuing medical education, a strategic approach, everyone's favorite topic, AI. So I think that brings us to a close. Thanks again, everyone. And enjoy the rest of CME Palooza.
Signing off from the Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago.